Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaye.
Jagannath, everyone together. Jagannatha Sutta Mahaprabhu Vishwambar Mayapura Shashi Navadipa Sudhakar Shachi Sutta Gaura Hari Nilai Sundar Radha Bhava Kanti Achadita Natavar Namananda Chapala Bhalaka Matra Bhakta Ramananda Vana Takshi Katukan Gramya Bali Kakriyan Lakshmi Pati Bora Datta Uddata Balaka Hara Digvijay Sarpa Hari Vishnu Priya Swara Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Nadiya Pala Pitra Gaya Binda Data Puri Shishya Madhvachaya Sampradaya Pada Krishna Naman Mata Krishna Katha Shashadar Simanta Vijay Goduma Bihari Madhya Dipa Lila Shrai Tola Dipa Pati Ritu Dipa Maheshwar Dhanumoda Dhumaruda Sudera Ishwar Navakanda Ranganatha Jana Vijivana Jagai Maraya Di Surita Tarana Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche 111 Nadiya Nagare Nagara Kirtana Singha Kaji Udaran Bharati Tarana Parivraj Shiramani Utkala Pava Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Ambulinga Bhuvanesha Kopotesha Pati Tirchor Gopal Dashana Sukhiya Nirdandi Sanyasi Sarva Bhoma Kripa Mohan Swananda Aswanandi Sarva Sukha Shohan Purata Sundara Vasudeva Tanakarta Ramananda Sakavata Kula Kleshaha Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Boda Jain Mayavadi Kutaka Kanda Dakshina Pavana Bhakti Kanta Urarana Alala Dashanandi Rata Ganartaka Gajapati Trana Devananda Udaya Kuliya Prakashe Dushta Padurya Ratrana Rupa Sanatana Bandhu Sarva Jiva Pan Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Vrindavana Nanda Murti Bala Bhadra Sangi Yavana Udari Bhakta Bala Virarangi Kashi Vasi Sanyasi Udari Gata Chata Bhaktera Gaura Bhakari Bhakta Pranadana Haridas Raghunath Swarupa Jivan Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire Bhakati Vinotar Pode Ranga Pare Nadiya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Jai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Gaura Premanande Chair, eh? I think I'm okay for now, thanks. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurundabitam Dena Jai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Virati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindho, Dina Bandho, Jagapate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe, Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhadu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Nitai Namineche Namirhate Shadamulinam Dite Chere Nitai Namineche Namirhate Shadamuyena Dite Chere Nitai Namineche Namirhate Shadamuyena Dite Chere Nitai Namineche Namirhate Shadamuyena Dite Chere. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kadamb. We'll hear from the Maharaj in just a little while, albeit in Hindi, about the ways that Krishna performed his daily pastimes here. But we also know this as the place where Rupa Goswami came to do his bhajan and also to stay absorbed in fulfilling the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's making thunder on the microphone. Nana Shastra Vicharanaiki Nipano Sadharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarano Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked Rupa and Sanatan Goswami to collate the most relevant of all the scriptures in such a way that people could digest them all over the world, coming to the essence, because as we know, the Vedas are a huge project. They accommodate various levels of consciousness. People who are elevationists trying to live in the material world in a more comfortable way, good luck with that. And those who have come into the idea of self-realization. The Upanishads are the first hint of this, where they talk about the Atma as being separate from matter. And of course we have Sri Upanishad, one of the 108 most important Upanishads, that tells about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, albeit in slightly vague terms. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Ishavasyamidam Sarvam. Hiranmayena patrena satyasa pihitam mukham. We get the idea that there is a personality of God. He's the owner of everything. He has a face and so forth. But then we come to the compilation of all of that in the Vedanta Sutra, where Srila Vyasadeva distinguishes himself from the other darshans, where there's no conception of a Supreme Personality of Godhead. His is the only accurate and worthwhile of presentations, because all the other ones lead to nowhere. As they say in America, he was going nowhere fast. And then, of course, the explanation of the Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a natural commentary, which means Srila Vyasadeva, who compiled the Vedanta Sutra, then gave commentary on it. That's the Srimad Bhagavatam. For that reason, Vaishnavas didn't have a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, although other sampradayas did, because they already considered it's been done by Srila Vyasadeva. And then, of course, Baladev Vidyabhushan gave the Govinda Bhashya. And that's another story. But the meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, of course, took place first near where Rupa and Sanatan were employed by the Nawab Hussain Shah. They had written letters to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requesting a meeting with him, which they didn't hear back from until Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent back a message, slightly enigmatic, but saying that when somebody's a housewife, has a lover, she performs her daily work at home meticulously so no one can discover her. And this was code for Rupa and Sanatan, who are employed in the local government there, that they should do their work meticulously. But then when the time would be right, they could come and join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami first had escaped his employ. Both he and Sanatan Goswami had hired 20 or more brahmanas to come to their homes and recite Srimad Bhagavatam and go into deep study every day. They had created a Gupta Vrindavan, a replica of Vrindavan. Of course, they had unlimited resources because they were very wealthy. And then, of course, they called in sick. Especially Sanatan Goswami is mentioned because the Nawab, noticing that Sanatan had given up his governmental duties, which were absolutely essential, the royal doctor went and saw that Sanatan wasn't sick. And he asked him what his intention was, and he said, "My intention is that you better find somebody else because I quit." And the Nawab put him in jail. And Rupa Goswami had somehow gotten free, and with Anupam, his brother, the brother of Sanatan and Rupa, they had sent two men to Jagannath Puri to find out when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to leave Jagannath Puri and go to Vrindavan. Of course, back then, one had to triangulate to find out where someone was going to be because the communication systems were not as instantly gratifying as they are today, or maybe instantly agitating. And they found out that he had already left Jagannath Puri for Vrindavan. And so, by triangulation, Rupa and Anupam had gone to Prayag, one of the natural stops that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have made on his way to Vrindavan. And very fortunately, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there, who was traveling with one servant, actually two, Vallabha Bhattacharya, not Vallabha Bhattacharya, Vallabhacharya. And he also had one other servant carrying his water pot and cloth. At that place, Prayag, he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course there's a slight detour there because he met Ballavacharya, who later became the Acharya of the Pushti Marg, and who had met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu several times. But his main interest, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's interest, was in speaking to Rupa Goswami. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Prayag, there were millions of people, and he was constantly being followed by crowds, so he had repaired to the Dashashvamedha Ghat, a more quiet place, secluded place, where he met with Srila Rupa Goswami for 10 whole days. And there he instructed him in the science of Krishna consciousness. We mentioned some of this the other day, I think in this, yes, together we talked about the metaphor that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave of the Bhakti Lata, or the creeper. And Mahaprabhu had started by mentioning how rare it is to come to devotional service. He talked about how there are 8,400,000 species of life, and only 400,000 of those are human. Out of those, there are very few that are, well, half are civilized, half are uncivilized, he said. And then of the civilized ones, there are very few that are interested in spiritual practice, and of those who are interested in spiritual practice, there are very select few who have an inkling for pure devotional service. Most people have highly motivated idea. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto jignasa artati jnani cha bharatarshava. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, people have different motivations for approaching God. They want wealth, or they want diminishment of distress. They're inquisitive, or they're in knowledge of the absolute truth, and they want to know God completely. And so he then told Rupa Goswami, Kesha gra shatabhaga sha sharam sha shatrishatmakaha jiva suksma swarupo yang sankyatito hichitkanaha. He said, here's who you are. You're chitkana. You're a tiny particle of consciousness. As Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, of tiny things, I'm the jiva, the smallest of the small. Kesha gra. Kesha means a hair. If you take a hair and you cut it 100 times, if you can do that, and then you cut it 100 more times, the particle you get is microscopic, maybe not even perceivable by microscope. He said that's the size of the soul, he told Rupa Goswami. And then he said, Brahmanda Brahmete Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Bhai Bhakta Lata Beach. The soul is marginal in position, so it can be associated with the spiritual energy, the internal energy, or the external energy, the material world. And those souls who have somehow or other become involved with the external energy, they're constantly, let's take back the word constant, they're wandering. Wandering means aimless. And they're moving from one universal system to another, one body to another, with no aim. We also call it loitering. That's not a good thing. Do you have it in UK, loitering? Do you know what it means? There's usually at 7-Elevens and other things, low-life places, no offense to 7-Eleven. But there's, in the parking lot, they have a sign that says no loitering. It means don't hang around for no reason. That's what loitering means. And the soul is loitering in the material world. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if such a wandering soul comes in contact with a devotee, then he can get Krishna, and vice versa. By Krishna's arrangement, one meets a devotee, and by the meeting of the devotee, one gets Krishna. So Brahmanda Brahmante Kon Bhagyavan Jeev. Bhagyavan means becomes fortunate. Souls are unfortunate as they've been estranged from Krishna's loving embrace and service. Of course, we're always in Krishna's loving embrace, but our attitude is wayward. We've turned away from the Lord. But upon meeting a devotee, then one can rekindle one's devotion for Krishna, and that's Krishna's special mercy to introduce one to a devotee. As Uddhava told Krishna, Naivo payante pachitim kavayastavesha brahmayushapi kridam ridam mudasmaranta yontar bahis tanuvritam ashubhan vadunban acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim vyanakti. He said, my dear Lord, I could never repay you. My gratitude is so great and ever increasing because you're helping me from within and from without. From within as the antaryami, you're giving me instruction, and from without, you've helped me to meet the acharya, the devotee who teaches by example and precept. And from both sides, outside and inside, you're helping me to follow your path and come back to Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in a very optimistic way, that encouraging way, the soul wandering in the material universe can come in contact, meet a devotee, meet Krishna, and then begin the process of devotional service. And I gave the metaphor the other night. He said, when meeting the devotee, then the seed is planted within the heart from receiving instructions from a Vaishnava, and that seed begins to grow. But what I didn't talk about the other night was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's very important instructions about gardening. Would you like to hear more about gardening?
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jadi Vaishnava aparari hoy uti hati mata. Upari vichinde jar shuki jaya pata. He said, Jadi, if when growing the creeper of devotional service, it starts to grow in the heart. Jadi, if. Jadi Vaishnava aparada. Aparada means to perform service to Krishna. Aparada means the opposite. You do something that's contrary to proper service to the Lord. And Vaishnava aparada means to make offense to devotees. He said, Utte hati mata. Hati means an elephant. And when an elephant, upadeva chinde jar, shuki jayapata. If you get an elephant in your garden, back in Bushi, if you wake up one morning and there's an elephant in your backyard, it's too late, your garden's ruined. Because all he has to do is walk around a little bit. What to speak of if he's a maddened elephant? Because maddened elephants will go through and ravage neighborhoods, flip over rickshaws, then cars, then trucks, smash down all the little shops along the way. You've probably seen it on YouTube when an elephant becomes angry. Sometimes they'll go for 8-10 miles, nobody can stop them, they wreak havoc. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, as a gardener, be especially careful not to offend Vaishnavas, because it is the mad elephant offense. And shuki means after the elephant tramples on your devotional creeper, shuki means that it dries up, becomes ineffectual, won't grow anymore. Shuki jayapata. That creeper is ruined in that way. So he told Sanatana Rupa Goswami to be careful. And then the other thing he told him is, as you're watering, and we discussed the other day about the watering process. Remember what it's called? Shravanadi Jal. And it means, so Shravana means to hear, and Adi means etc. So when you say Shravanadi and Jal means? Yes. So you water the creeper by hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani, Vedanam. Correct?
Yes.
So that means Shravana, Adi, hearing, etc. Then, as you water, all gardeners know this. there's a lot of volunteers that come up with the original plant. They come from outer space. All kinds of other plants grow next to the intended plant. And it's very difficult to tell the difference, especially when the plants are newly sprouted, because many plants look similar. But you have to have, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, a keen eye to distinguish between the Bhakti Lata and the extra volunteer plants that come up. These are unwanted. So he continued the metaphor saying, as you water, notice what else sprouts up besides the creeper of devotional service. And he said, make sure to pluck those things out in the beginning, because once they grow, they rob the nutrients from the Bhakti Lata, and then they can choke it and kill it. They can overgrow the Bhakti Lata, and then it becomes lost. So he warned us, he told Rupa Goswami to be very careful while cultivating devotional service, to tend to the creeper. And he said, to avoid the elephant and other creatures, you should put a fence around your creeper. And when you're on Govardhan Parikram, you might notice that people try to grow trees. It's quite humorous to watch, because the little tree has to be triple fortified, because everybody, the monkeys, they're at me already. The monkeys then of course the cows, they'll nuzzle up and just swallow a whole small tree. And what to speak of other little critters. So you have to put barbed wire, you have to put a solid fence around the creeper until it can stand on its own 2 feet. Therefore we sometimes see people take to devotional service and it gets ravaged by outsiders and they become lost in the process of devotional service. So this is an important instruction given by Rupa Goswami to be very careful. And finally he said, not finally, there's much, much more, but in this section he says to Rupa Goswami a verse that Rupa Goswami included in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmanyadavritam anukuliyena krishnanu shilinam bhaktir uttama. That first class, uttam bharya, devotional service, is the kind of devotional service in which anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmanyadavritam. Shunya means void. It doesn't have any material influence. There's no gyan, there's no karma. It's only bhakti. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmanya. Anukuliyana means it's favorable service to Krishna. Others think of Krishna like Kamsa, but not in a very favorable way. Would you agree?
Yes.
Thinking about how to kill Krishna undoubtedly means you're thinking of him. And that's better than not, because King Vena, as mentioned by Parikshit Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam, out of all the demons, the only one who didn't get any benefit was Vena. Because Vena said, I'm God, there is no God. He didn't think of Krishna and say, I want to kill Krishna. So he missed the boat. All the other demons got some kind of liberation. But what if somebody takes the process of devotional service? It should be anukul, favorable. And shilana means that it should be practical. It means that all the senses should be practically engaged in Krishna's service. And what of all the senses is the most important sense of all? The tongue. Shravanam, that's right. But according to the Padma Purana, Atashri Krishna Namadi Nambhavet Grayam Indriye Seva Mukihi Jivado Swayam Eva Spraktida. The tongue, if you take a look at your tongue, not right now, but when you get home, you might notice that it looks like a little rudder. Because the way the tongue goes, that's the way you're going to go. And if you just notice what your tongue is doing, then you'll know that's where you're going. And therefore the Padma Purana says, yoga begins with the tongue, jihva. Adao means you begin your process of devotional service with the tongue. And how? To engage it in seva. And what's the best seva? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
and don't speak prajalpa. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha. If you have something wicked to say, then what does your mama tell you? Don't say it. If you don't have anything, she didn't say that. She said if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. Right?
Yes.
Acha nahin. Nahin. Then if it's not good, don't say it. So he goes on to teach Rupa Goswami all the details of pure devotional service and the expansion of the creeper and what it means to develop full-blown love of God and the stages. Rupa Goswami then wrote the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Vidagdha Madhava, the Lita Madhava, Ujjvala, Nilamani, and all these literatures are there for us specifically to make advancement towards the ultimate goal of life, which is 1, 2, 3, Krishna Prema. So Rupa Goswami did something very practical. He listened to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then he compiled books. And nowadays, we may think, well, where is Rupa Goswami? He's in his teachings. And we can not only read them and practice what he said, but we can also distribute them to other people. That's practical. And now we have, where's Divyanam? We have time for one more quick bhajan because Maharaj wants to speak. Radha Krishna Bol Bol Bolare Shobai, page 200. Radha Krishna Bol Bol Bolare Shobai. Radha Krishna Bol Bolare Shobai. Shikadiya Shabnadiya Preche Neche Gornitai. Where's Divinam? Haribo Bolore Shikariya, page 200. Radha Krishna Bol Bol Bolore Shobai. Cowbell, cowbell. Shri Radha Krishna Bol Bol Bolore Shobai. Mayar Boshe Jato Beshe Kacho Habu Dubu Bai Nietzsche. You're drowning in the material world, Habu Dubu. And your life is useless if you don't take to the Krishna Bhajan. Haribo Bolore Nietzsche Mayar Boshe. Take this. I am the servant of Lord Krishna. You'll have no more misery in your life. Haribo Bolore Jiv Krishna Da. jabe bhula kahabe jorbi anki boli thai. As you continue to chant Hare Krishna, your hair will stand on end, tears will come from your eyes. Krishna bulbe jabe bhula kahabe jorbi anki boli thai. Krishna bulbe jabe bhula kahabe jorbi anki Hari bolo Krishna bulbe jabe Hari bolo Krishna bulbe jabe Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Shri Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bolo Shange chalo matra pikachai. All we ask is come with us and chant Hare Krishna. Hari bolo Radha Krishna bolo Hari Radha Krishna bolo Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Shri Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bolo bolo re shobai Jai Sakla Vipod. All fear will go away. Jai Sakla Vipod. Bhakti Vinod Bolin Jaton Om Nam Gai Jai Sakla Vipod. Bhakti Vinod Bolin Jaton Om Nam Gai Hari bolo re Jai Sakla Vipod. Hari Jai Sakla Vipod. Radha Krishna bol bolo re shobai Radha Krishna bol bolo re shobai Shri Radha Krishna bol Jai Sakla Vipod. Bhakti Vinod bolin Jaton Om Nam Gai Jai Radha Krishna bolo Shange chalo matra pikachai Radha Krishna bolbe jabe bhula kahabe jorbe anki boli thai Krishna bolbe jabe bhula kahabe Jiv Krishna das Vishwas bole to arju konai jiv Niche maya moshe jacho deshe kacho abu dubai Abu dubu Shikaria Shabnaria Peche Niche Gurnitai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Premanande, Haribo, Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. More cowbell. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Premanande, Shri Hari Ram Sankirtan ki, Shri Hari Ram Mantra ki, Shri Hari Ram Prabhu ki, Go Premanande, Nitai Gaurari Bo.
On end time, elder brother Sanatana Goswami coming. No arrangement the cooking, no prasadam. Rupa Goswami thinking some sweet rice I offered to elder brother or elder brother coming, Maharajji. So Sanatana Goswami offered to sweet rice, Rupa Goswami offered to happiness. At a time, more to more chanting, more to more long chanting. Ter means long sound, DJ. Long sound. End of the day, 9 lakhs cow go to Govardhan Hill. Nowadays Govardhan Puja. No see the Govardhan. Govardhan Dhari go see. So Giridhari. Back to no home. Stay this place. Then Krishna of high plant the Kadamb tree. Call to cow. Krishna mobile. Touching, working. At a time Lilacs name out as like Dhabali, Samali, Lali, Kumkumi, Lal Galabi, Chatkan Mande. Yo, yo, yo. No reply, I am coming. Reply all are one sound. Hamba! 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 9 lakhs DJ, only Krishna. All coward boys friend, coward girl, boy. Muttumar cow. At a time, muttumar, long sound. So, sound all world. Dancing, chanting. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. Govinda, Radhe, Gopalo, Radhe. Govinda, Radhe, Gopalo, Radhe. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. Radhe, Radhe, Govinda, Govinda, Radhe. Our Guru Varga said, back to home, back to God. So all are back to home and now back to God. End of the Leela. Sweet rice, all are taking hand to hand. No bacteria. This place, bacteria no. No bacteria. Take your hand, sweet rice. Okay? No okay. Radhe, Radhe. Sweet okay. Vrindavan no, thank you, no okay. Vrindavan, all time okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Always chanting, always happy. Sri Radha Rani ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we just need some help. We can now move to our next spot, which is Vrindakund. And the Vrindakund is a very beautiful place. So there we will have some bhajans with Guru Maharaj, some kirtan. Due to some changes in the previous years, we will not be having talks, but we'll do a couple of bhajans, and we'll also get the opportunity to sing Damodar Astakam there and offer Deepdan. Is It's the best place in Vrindavan to offer Deepdan at Vrinda Devi's abode. So we will do that. I just wanted to mention that as Maharaj was explaining, as Guru Maharaj was explaining that this is the place Rupa Goswami stayed actually for many years, and these are some of the books he actually wrote just under these trees. And these are the names of the Bhakti Rasali Kamudi, Lalita Madhava, Padyavali, and Ujvala Nilamani. So these are the books Rupa Goswami